Good morning, sunshine.
Welcome to the real world. Whoa! Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with free air. There's no second best, okay?
Good morning.
Why is it so much harder to stop that one? Anyway, GM. Sunday. Trade of the day. I don't see much. I won't spend that much time. Really, just gonna update quickly. So we got the pivot below. I'm not I'm not of the belief necessarily that this level has held yet. This dip below was a show of weakness. The move up so far has been corrective. If that move is able to extend further and then come back into this inefficiency here and hold, that would definitely start to look like a much more solid base. Until then, I think this is probably a continuation of a squeeze, which we'll see how it finishes at the end. So there's a move up from Friday afternoon, untested so far, around at the pivot. So there's reason to go lower. And if you watch the price behavior lesson or workshop yesterday, you'll know I was talking about exactly this, actually on a different part of the chart. When price moves down, suddenly it flips people bearish, but then it grinds up, and then it impulses back up, and it starts to move here and here and here. It's like, oh, it looks like it's going to go up only. Goes for a breakout. Breakout fails. Now, where it goes from here is probably the same, except up into the inefficiencies above, of which there's one there, an untested level, which I can mark off with the dotted line, red line. And there's no one up here. So any of these dotted red lines are untested inefficiencies. We've also got the old value area low above and the point of control above that. So all of this, by the way, is taking place underneath the value area. Right, this old value area, which price lost back in August, lost it at the start of August, has retested and failed, and is consolidating and essentially building value below the value area. Keep that in mind as well. That would be a bearish sign. Which is why, even though this is bouncing off the lows and could well be a chart that's setting up to go higher, right now I still see this as a redistribution because of all those things I mentioned. So if I was looking for a trade today, I don't think there'll be one. I don't think there'll be a great trade today necessarily, but I do think that coming into the end of today, going into tomorrow, you probably start to see the first directional move, which I would guess that 60.8 is pretty easy to hit, even if it's going to go down from there. Or if it reaches that, you've got some stops and some highs above, and I don't think it would be that difficult for price to attack those. But in the first case, I don't expect it to go beyond 60.8. So if it did get to here and put in a topping pattern, some kind of lower time frame signs of weakness, that would be an area I would look to take a trade back down. As for longs, nothing really. Nothing would interest me on the long side. Because, you'd have to see a move down into, if there was a fast move down into that inefficiency in the pivot, you might see a nice automatic reaction where you can just play a quick bounce. But otherwise, I don't see a whole lot on the long side because I lean bearish in terms of the current structure until it starts reclaiming some of these levels. If Bitcoin starts to get above 62 and into 62, 63 and spend some time consolidating there, starts to reclaim those value area levels, that will be a much better sign. What you'd want to see is time though. Remember what I said on daily levels. You don't necessarily just want to see it pump up really fast. You want to see it gradually rise and consolidate and build. So anyway, I think a short potentially could present if we go to range high or towards these untested levels today. Otherwise, probably not a whole lot, and you just want to be patient until you see some kind of structure break. The other side of short would be this, which would be if price breaks down below that level and starts to lose the pivot, 55.3 is next target. So if it loses this pivot area again, shows weakness, breaks over, starts to roll over like that, probably goes for the lows and into that inefficiency. That's it. GM. See you on the weekly outlook stream, which will be in about 1 hour, so not long to go. GM.